Good morning, Lena. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. I feel well, thanks a lot.
Good, good. Well, Lena, thank you so much for taking the time to share your story with us this morning. Why don't we start by you telling us a little bit about yourself and where you're from?
Okay. My name's Lena Pecheroga. I am 35 years old. I have a family. I have husband and two daughters, 5 and 10 years. We are living in the central Ukraine in a city called Vinnytsia. It is not so big city, but it is very modern city, and this city has top of comfortable cities of Ukraine for 8 or more years. I didn't go to work. I didn't work because my daughter, who have 5 years old, she is not good in health, so I have to stay with her because it's impossible. It can't go to kindergarten well. So it always have some cough or something like this. So I stay at home, and my husband are working, and we have a normal life before the
What?
war, of course.
Right. What did your husband do?
My husband is an engineer in energetic company. This company supplies energetic to the whole Vinnytsia region. It's a big. There are 24 of regions in Ukraine, like states in USA, you know. So
Right.
uh, so his company provides and supply energetic to the whole region, and this is his job.
Got it. Totally understand. So, obviously, on the 24th of February, things changed in Ukraine. Everything changed. Leading up to the 24th, did you believe that Russia would invade Ukraine, or what were your thoughts leading up to those couple of weeks before the 24th of February?
It is a very wide question, but Ukraine has only 30 years of independent. Before it was in the USSR. USSR is like Russia. So I was born in USSR, and we were living uh, like a big country was broken, and we have our own country. But we remember that we are from there. We was in there, and we were exploded by USSR. But if you ask about few weeks before war, our minds just remember that we are from one country, and we just didn't want to believe didn't want to believe it could be, but we have all 8 years conflict in the east of Ukraine with this Russia Federation. So it wasn't just like rain from the sunny day, you know. It wasn't, because every day for 8 years our TV news were started from the news in the conflict line, and how many soldiers died today, how many soldiers were injured today. It was a terrible 8 years, but it was not in our home. It was on the east, somewhere in the east of our country. When we started to hear this breaking news that Russia will enter the war to the whole Ukraine, we just didn't want to believe it, but our minds told us that it can be real, because we have already on the east something like this. So I started to to prepare for it. My heart don't want to believe we can live in war, but my mind tell me that everything is possible, and I started to think about it. What would I do? So I before war, war entered 24th of February. My daughter had birthday in January, and I was preparing it even in December. And even in December, I just think about, I don't know what would be further, and that's why I did a big family holiday. I we have guests, many guests, our grandparents, our uncles, aunts. It was unmoving things. we we have been already gathered because we just feel that something could be, and it could be a very hard times. So if we had an opportunity to get together and to spend our time with our relatives, with our friends, because it was like cloud under us, black cloud, and we were just like in shadow of unknown what it could be. As for me, as for my family, I just thinking, what if it would be real? I started to find all my documents. I started to check all medicine I have in my house. I started to check and to make food supplies, food and water supplies. My husband bought an oil to our car, oil, gas. It would be full of. So we were preparing. We were preparing. Didn't want to believe that it could be, but it was.
It happened. So when did you decide to leave? I mean, so obviously the 24th, the war started. When did you decide, you and your family say, we need to go? This is, what was that moment in time like when you said, we've got to get out of, we've got to leave our home and we've got to find somewhere else to go?
Immediately, just immediately,
I mean,
because I was on the 4th of February. I wake up from some noises, and I took my phone just to see what time is it, and I saw a message in our school chat, and it was wake up, turn on TV because the war has started. It was just terrible, and as I even open my eyes and see this message, I just thought that we are leaving the city. Why? I should explain why. Because we live in central Ukraine, so it isn't on the border from Russian. But several years ago, in 2017, we had explosions near our city. Because near our city, it is a military. It is military station where weapons are based, and it was very heavy ammunition there stored to the end. In 2017, we have already explosions in that center of heavy ammunition store. Because of, I don't know, because of some diversions or something like this. So we already lived it. We already heard these bombs, and we know that it is very heavy ammunition there. And if some rocket turn, because it is not in one point, it have acres of area, and somewhere is only land, and somewhere have ammunition. So we decided just to go out of city immediately, but we can't do this immediately because my husband is a worker of very important energetic structure. He can't escape in the starting of war. It's impossible. So he went to work, and we every one of us was realized that the war has begun, and everyone is need to help to win this war. He should be at his work, and I think I should keep in safe my children is the first, and I just understand I have to live for them to do good work, for them to
Right.
do everything they need to do without thinking about me and about daughters and about civilians, you know.
Right.
So we wake up, we saw this news, we have this fear, this pain attack, fear attack, and then we come down and we just started to gather our things. But I should say that we leave our city and go to a village for the first week, and after it we go abroad. So I'm not in Ukraine now. I am in Poland with my daughters and with my sister and her family.
I was going to ask, were you did so you drove through to Poland, or did you have to take a train anywhere, or how did you get from that village to Poland?
We arrived at village. I arrived from Vinica, and my sister and her family arrived to mom's house from Kiev, from this capital of Ukraine, because Kiev was under huge attack. And we stayed in mom's house for 1 week. We we were hoping that it would end it in few days, maybe in few weeks, and everything will be as before. But when um, when it was the situation with Zaporizhia nuclear power station, when Russians come and the Russians were getting some bombs around it, my father came to us, and with tears on his eyes he was begging us go abroad, because if the nuclear power would be injured, would be as a if it explodes, it would be no time and no other ways to pass it, no way. So he
Wow.
don't even think any day stay here longer, please go away abroad. And we um my sister family is 6 persons, and they have Caravella, a Volkswagen Caravella, big bus, passenger
Hmm.
bus, and we just packed our clothes. What can we take with us? Medicine, clothes, our children, some food in a road trip. This and we just the next day in the morning we leave Mama's house to Poland. And I should
Wow.
say that this road, it was very difficult for our minds, because we didn't mean to go abroad. We just wanted to go in a village in 80 kilometers, on 300 kilometers from my home, from his sister home, and just stay and wait for some time, for some short time, and then we just stayed with the situation. We must go abroad to nowhere. We didn't have any friends here. We didn't know what to do. Just pass the border and what? And live in
Right.
this car, and what would we do, and for a long time we were going there. It was such a situation that fear of going nowhere there was less than fear of knowing that any bomb would hit your daughters, would hit your family.
Right.
And um, we
Wow.
just arrived, and that's all.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine what you've gone through. I mean, I'm here in Dallas, Texas, and I will never more than likely see what you have experienced in the last several weeks. I could not imagine. I have a daughter and obviously my wife, and I couldn't imagine going, abroad and really having no idea what's going to happen. Having no idea of where you're going to go. Um, where you're going to live. So when you crossed the border, how did you find help? I mean, was there obviously there was a lot of people, I'm sure, all trying to do the same thing. Um, how did you find help?
When the war started, many of people were going abroad at first days. First one, two, second day, third day, and after it was less because everyone was waiting. So first people who go abroad, they go straight. They knew that would. After they go somewhere in other region of Ukraine and waiting. But when this situation with Zaporizhia nuclear power was so very high risk, I don't know how many thousands, maybe million people just take his suitcases and
Mhm.
went to the direction of boarding. We were on our trip for 36 hours. 36 hours in car.
Wow.
It was hell. It was hell. I just I can't believe myself that it was because I just to say it, it's impossible, but we did it. We arrived early in the morning from Mama's house, and we were moving. We had only 400 kilometers to border, and while we were driving it, we were searching where we live, where we go. We go to abroad, and after what after? And thanks to our friends, they find us a straight next to border. It is a city in Poland, Peremyshl, and there were people from church. They just made his their church as a place to stay for 1 or 2 nights after crossing the border because they saw what it is going on this border. We it was a situation that we came to border at 6 p.m. 6 in the evening, and it was queue. It was queue in 14 kilometers of cars to border, and these
Wow.
14 kilometers cars was this queue. We passed the border uh, in uh, in 18 hours. We were waiting 18 hours. We are passing 14 kilometers for 18 hours.
That's amazing. So that's how backed up. That's how backed up. How many cars were waiting to get through?
It was very it was hundreds of cars waiting to go outside of this of Ukraine. So when we crossed the border, we stayed in Peremyshl in this church for one night. We have slept. Our children have slept. We have some food normal, and after it, now we are staying also in people from church because there was a situation that there were people in Ukraine who were in church and they go abroad at first days in Poland, and they started to seek the places to live for Ukrainians already have been in Poland, and
Right.
we just wrote them SMS and asked them to help to find place to live. And these people gave us the phone number to Poland people we didn't know and we didn't ever heard about them, and we connect with them, and they suggested and they invited us to live with them in their house. So now we're living in the suburb of Warsaw, and
Wow.
we thank God that we found the place to live because many of people now are in search, and Poland is over over overloaded of people. I don't know,
Right.
uh, uh, 3 million people more. It isn't so
Right.
easy to find houses for 3 million people immediately.
Yeah. No. I know. Our clinics that we work with, that we partner with, are in Moldova and Romania. And so, we've been seeing the same thing down there. We're trying to help as many guests as we can absolutely help, and help them. A lot of folks are going up to Germany. Some are going over to Italy. Some are even coming here to the United States. So, we're trying to help them get sorted and figure out what their next step is. What is your next? Well, before I actually ask this question, is your husband, has he been able to join you, or is he still in Ukraine?
No, he is not. He is still in Ukraine. He is still on uh, his point of defense war, on his work, because I hope that you know that we had Russians in coming to Ukraine in different regions of Ukraine, in Chernihiv, in Sumy, and near Kiev, and in the east and in the south of Ukraine. And now, thanks God, Sumy, Chernihiv are free from Russian soldiers, but it is totally destroyed. And now it is a situation that energetics from central Ukraine go to the north of Ukraine in order to help them to fix energetic system in order it come and started work as it was before. So he is
Wow.
not in. He is not. He even if he could, he wouldn't come, because if everybody is going out, what it would be? We just lose this war. So people,
Right.
men should stay in the country and should defend it. And even from here, we make some internet help. We funds the money to buy everything soldiers need, everything that volunteers group need to win the war.
And do you know other people who are fighting in the battle right now?
Yes, I know. I know several of them, but soldiers are forbidden to write about where are they directly, what are they doing, how it is going. Maybe they can say it to his wife, his mother, something like this, but not to friends, because everything is um, recording. So
Right.
I knew one person that just we have direct messages to one to another, and I can tell that they have a strong will to defend the country, and because they all of them, he has two sons, and he knows what he is doing there and what he had to do to win, in order to his sons would be in safe, in free country, and will have some future.
Wow. So he knew in order for his sons to be free, he had to stay and fight and defend his country and the people as a whole, the people of Ukraine. He's fighting on behalf of a nation. So,
Yes, I'm here in Poland. I'm thankful very much for people, for country, for Poland country. It's a huge, big help. But I feel myself, I'm Ukrainian, and I so want to go home, even if it would be mm, less economical, if it we have spent, I don't know, many years to come back what we had, but the heart is at home.
yeah, I'm sure.
Sorry.
I'm sure I know. No, no, that's fine. It's so sorry that, again, I can't imagine what you're going through, and you're absolutely right. You want your kids to know where they came from. You want to be united together as a family again and have another family meal, with your brothers and sisters, aunts, uncles, everyone. And
We have only all of we need. All we only want a peaceful life in our country, in our cities, and ability to live and to live peacefully and to do what we
Right.
want to do in our country. That's all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let me ask you this. What can we do here in the United States? If you could say, this is how you can help. What is the best way that we can help both people who are still in Ukraine and those who have had to go abroad? What is the best way we can help?
The most thing we have, it is, unfortunately, it is two things. First, we need a strong pray for God, because God can everything, and He can stop the war without any of material things. But if we are talking about material things, we need everything possible to have military support, to have our enemy is out of mind, and only a language it understand, it is heavy weapon and losses of their army. Only this can stop him. No, nothing more. And now we understand that day by day our villages, our cities are occupying more and more, and our people who live there, who stay there, are suffering mostly of all. And we just need to stop it at first, and we need to do something. They go out of our country. Also, we need a big support to people who changed his place of living, because as for me, I took 2 suitcases, and it was very very rich. I could take more than many of people who lived his house. So I know that there are many, because we were living by car. Many are living by train. I don't know how they take elementary of with them, and they come somewhere in some place of world, in some place of Ukraine, and they need food. They need, I don't know, pampers for babies. They need just clothes. They need everything, everything. It's horrible. It just go to another city. Just it doesn't. You may go to another city with one bag, and just imagine what would you say? First, money. But if you don't have much money, if you are going in 50 minutes and go somewhere in different places, and you don't have anything. So it's very big support is needed for people who are inside a country. Our country wasn't so high developed, our country is agriculture. It wasn't so economically developed, and we have so many supplies, extra
Right.
supplies that we can open and give everyone who needed it. It wasn't because we wasn't expecting real war. So
And I would assume so. It's just not supporting now, but of course, there's going to be a massive rebuilding effort that's going to need to take place after this is all over. And I think that it's important for people who are watching this right now, who have heard your story, understand, really walk away with three things. Number one, understanding that this is very real. These are very you just shared your authentic story, your real story of how you had to escape and go and literally make a phone call to someone you had never talked to before. Number two, that there are still men back there fighting for their nation. And number three, that there's going to be a massive rebuilding that's going to have to take place here. People here in the United States, we need to stay in prayer, and we need to continue to give as much as we can and encourage our politicians to continue to take action and help any way they can. Would you agree with that?
Yes, of course. And I would like to add, I would like to say thank to all people whose heart is with Ukraine, who help in any possible way, in any possible direction. Someone can help in internet, someone can funds, someone can organize some process of it. Thanks a lot from deep of our hearts to any people who help in any of way they could help. We need it. Unfortunately, we need it now, and today we have so heavy situation in Ukraine because Putin wants to have some result of this war on the 9th of May, and this period from now till this data, it would be very hard in Ukraine, and millions of people from the east needed to go from their houses. If they won't go, it would be very big risk for not only for their health, but for their lives, and they just need to replace in Ukraine, out of Ukraine, and these people, all of us, need a support.
Well, absolutely. Well, Lena, I want to thank you so much for sharing your story with me this morning. I am so grateful, and please know that the whole reason why we're doing what we're doing is to share stories just like yours. And um, you know that you're going to be in our prayers, and know that you're going to be, we will continue to take action and help as much as we possibly can. And and I hope that I will be praying for your husband that he stays safe, praying for your daughters, because I know it's, as children, it can take a mental toll on children seeing this and living through this. So be praying for them, and of course praying for you for strength uh, there as you're trying to navigate kind of next steps, and what does life look like moving forward. If we could close and kind of do this one, well, before I do this, is there anything else you want to share?
I guess not. I just want to thank you for this video call. I want to thank you for you share about these stories, real stories of Ukrainians, and that I want again thank the all people who help us, and you know that in truly we are very good nation. We have a good heart, and Ukrainian won't forget it in any. Ukrainian also is a uh, agriculture culture that feed many of countries in the world. But and if you help Ukraine, you help many of countries to stay in peace and to stay in normal life with food and with a normal peace in life of their people. Thanks you very, very much. Hello, my name is Elena Pecheroha and I am Ukrainian. Доброго дня. Мене звати Олена Печерога і я українка.
Sean here. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. If you enjoyed it, please consider giving it a like, a follow, and a share. And if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast platform, consider giving it 5 stars. I look forward to sharing the next story with you real soon.